The Miami Dolphins are coming off a solid season where they ended up 9-8, but unfortunately barely lost in the wildcard round to the Buffalo Bills. Also, we have to keep in mind that Tua was on and off the field with a bunch of head injuries all year long, and we also have been hearing a lot of small rumors about potentially seeing Tom Brady playing in Miami next season. Don't know how true those are, but he was, quoted to say the other day that he claims to have friends in Miami, and he doesn't know about his future in the NFL when he was just asked a few days ago. But with that being said, the Dolphins came up short of their goal in 2022 and had a lot of work to do in order to shock the world next season. Now, in this video, I'll be breaking down everything that the Dolphins have done so far this offseason, but more importantly, what they need to do next, specifically in the draft, in order to make some noise in 2023. However, before we jump into the video, make sure you guys smash that like button. Helps out the channel so much, so let's see if we can get the video up to 400 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the Dolphins and the rest of the NFL all year long, so join the family. And one last thing, comment down below, who do you want the Dolphins to select with their #1 overall selection in this draft? It is in the second round. They don't have a first-round pick, so who do you guys think they should get in the second round, or what position do you think they should target? Let me know, but without any further ado, let's jump right into today's video. Okay, so the Dolphins have been absolutely on fire to start free agency, adding a ton of new players both offensively and defensively, making them such a better team overall. Now, I'm not going to sit here and break down every single signing that they have made, but I'll break down some of the biggest ones, or the ones I think will be the biggest factors or make the biggest impact on this team going into next season. Now, let's start with the offensive side of the ball. As we all know, Miami's offense was pretty solid last year, and realistically, they didn't need to add too much other than maybe a tight end and add some depth to other spots to start free agency. But they actually did a pretty good job filling some of those holes. Now, first of all, let's start off with the wide receiver depth. Bringing in a couple of guys, former Jets wide receivers actually, and Braxton Berrios and Robbie Anderson. Both these guys will step up right away and add some great depth to this wide receiver room, as well as simply just competitiveness. Now, let's start with Robbie Anderson. Now, if you don't know Robbie Anderson, he is a flashy speed threat who can get down the field and make big-time plays all over the place. And personally, he's one of the fastest in the NFL, and one of the fastest teams in all of football just got even faster. Now, over Robbie's 8-year career, he's brought in 375 receptions, over 4,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, averaging about 13.2 yards per catch in 111 games played. Now, as for Braxton Berrios, he's primarily a better route runner who can create separation by just using his quick first steps. But over his 4-year career, he's brought in 107 catches, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, averaging about 10.1 yards per catch over a 65-game window. Now, I think Braxton Berrios is just going to be a nice little safety valve, especially if there's an injury to the wide receiver room. I think he can step in, just be a nice little safety valve over the middle, a nice little star receiver for them to have over the next couple of years. So I think it might be just a one-year deal. But overall, I think Braxton Berrios and Robbie Anderson help this team so much, man. They're so much deeper. They're so much better than they were, last year. I mean, when we take a look at this Miami Dolphins team, you got so much speed around the field, starting with a guy like Jalen Waddle. I mean, Jalen Waddle, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. You then get Tyreek Hill coming over from Kansas City. He's one of the fastest players in the world. You got Cedric Wilson. Now you got Robbie Anderson, Braxton Berrios. Still got Eric Uzama, Freddie Swain, Braylon Sanders, River Craycraft. I mean, this wide receiver group is a lot deeper than it was last year. The Dolphins also added some more depth with center Dan Feeney, who will primarily just add some depth and experience for the offensive line. They also brought in former Broncos tight end Eric Sauber. Now, as for tight end, this is a deep class in the draft, but let me know if you guys think they should go or ride with Durham Smythe or Eric Sauber at tight end 1. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the tight end position for the Dolphins right now. Do you think they should draft one or give Smythe or Sauber the keys to tight end #1 in the offense? Now, overall, this offense ranked in the top half of the league last year, ranking number 11 in points per game, number 8 in yards per game, number 24 in third down conversion percentage, number 10 in red zone scoring percentage, and number 9 in touchdowns per game. Overall, this offense looks solid, but the defense is where they needed to improve the most coming into 2023. The good news is they have already made some major moves to improve this defense already, but with that being said, they still got some work to do. However, before we jump into the defensive side of the ball, make sure you guys smash that like button if you're enjoying the video so far. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the NFL draft and the rest of, the free agency, the trades, anything that goes down in the NFL. I got you guys covered, so make sure you guys subscribe because this is the place to be, man. Join the family. We are building an army, a family atmosphere. Join the family real quick. We also are going to stream NFL games, and we do NBA games as well. So join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we drop some breaking news in the NFL. Okay, so defensively, the Dolphins had some work to do, and they immediately started improving this team right away. Before we jump into their new additions, let's take a look at how their defense stacked up compared to the rest of the NFL last season. Now, the Dolphins ranked number 24 in points allowed per game, number 19 in yards allowed, number 26 in third down conversion percentage allowed, number 24 in red zone scoring percentage allowed, and number 24 in touchdowns allowed per game. Overall, not great at all with those stats, but I think we need to take a deeper look to see where their problems stem from, just so we can get a better understanding of where they need to improve the most. Now, the Dolphins actually had one of the best run defenses in all of football last season, ranking number 8 in rush yards allowed per carry, number 4 in rush yards allowed per game, number 6 in rush attempts per game, and but number 18 in rushing touchdowns allowed per game. Now, compare their passing defense, which ranked number 24 in completion percentage allowed, number 14 in pass yards allowed per attempt, number 28 in pass yards allowed per game, number 29 in interception percentage, and number 17 in sack percentage as well. Overall, this pass defense needed a major upgrade or upgrades at a ton of different positions. The amazing news is the Dolphins did that exactly to a T, with some big splashes. Now, the major one being trading for stud cornerback Jalen Ramsey. One of the best cornerbacks in the league for the last, 4 to 5 years, is on his way to join Miami secondary, which could definitely be a lockdown, room, a DB room in 2023. Now, Jalen Ramsey has put up 452 tackles, 375 solo, 2 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 19 interceptions, 92 pass deflections, and also 21 run stuffs as well in an 8-year career. Now, you pair that up with Xavier Howard, Javon Holland. This could be a deadly trio. And they also have 2 guys who can really shine in 2023, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Kader Kaho and potentially Brandon Jones, who will also be fighting for a starting job in this defense next season. Now, for Brandon Jones, he might have some tough competition because the Dolphins decided to sign Deshaun Elliott, who is a young stud safety who has shown flashes for both Detroit and Baltimore over his 4-year career, tallying up 205 tackles, 149 solo, 3.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. He won't be the day one starter, but he could definitely come in here during training camp, minicamp, preseason, and earn that job, throughout that time. Now, Miami didn't stop there either. They also have added a couple of linebackers who I believe can really make an impact on this team. Most notably, David Long Jr., a middle linebacker coming over from Tennessee, the Tennessee Titans, who should be the day one starter moving forward. Completely a really good linebacker core, or adding to a completely good linebacker core here in Miami. Now, David Long is a 26-year-old player who has shown some really good potential over his 4-year career, bringing in 230 tackles, 137 solo, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 26.5 stuffs as well. A very versatile linebacker who can both contribute in the passing game and stopping the run. Listen, they didn't stop there either. They also brought in former, Bronco edge rusher Malik Reed, who will primarily add depth in a sense of a spark plug off the bench who can rotate in and just make a big play getting to the quarterback. Over his 4-year career, he's tallied up 148 tackles, 82 solo, 16 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 9.5 stuffs as well. Overall, just a solid pass rusher off the bench behind a guy like Bradley Chubb. That's amazing to have. Now, overall, Miami needed to add some DB help as well as maybe add some guys who could pressure the quarterback, and they did exactly that and more. However, with that being said, the Dolphins still have a couple of holes on this roster, and they needed to fill those holes in the draft coming up, and it's going to be vital for how they perform next season. Now, some of their biggest needs right now are tight end, maybe offensive line, maybe a running back, some cornerback depth as well. But they also have some other places that have like minor holes, nothing big, but obviously you need some more depth at, defensive end, defensive tackle, nose tackle, need some more depth along there. Linebacker core, they seem good. Maybe another middle linebacker, inside linebacker, they come in, just add more depth. You definitely need, listen, a running back. I liked who they have with Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Salvon Ahmed, and Myles Gaskin, but if you can add one in the draft, maybe in the second, third, fourth round, maybe not a top priority, third, fourth, fifth round, add a running back then who can come in, compete, maybe add a different sense of energy to the line. I think that would be huge. Some offensive line depth is definitely needed, especially at the tackle position. Inside line also needs some depth. Wide receiver, I think you can go through, add another one of those. So I think there's definitely a lot of holes in this team. A lot of minor holes, nothing big. I think their biggest holes right now is at tight end, maybe cornerback. I don't know if Kadir Kahu is ready to take that big step up, but if he is, great. If not, definitely try to target a cornerback early in this draft. But with that being said, there's still a lot of work for the Miami Dolphins to do. This is a deep class for both tight end and cornerback, so look for the Dolphins to maybe try to address those needs. But keep in mind, Miami doesn't have a day one selection in this draft. They do have a second, third, I think fifth and the sixth round pick in this draft. I think they only have 4 selections, so they could either move back, they can move up, they can stay patient, pick where they pick at, or what do you guys want them to do? Let me know what you guys want them to do. Preferably for me, I would like them to trade back, acquire more picks, because like I said, there's holes for them to fill, and I don't know if 4 picks is enough. You need a corner, you probably need a tight end, maybe some O-line depth, wide receiver depth, a running back. I mean, there's definitely still some holes on this roster. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think they should be doing in this draft? Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.